Hey YouTube, where y'all at? Usually I'll be on here. Hey YouTube, who's on here? Watching me today. Well, look what I got, y'all. Look, Amazon Flex. I'm an independent contractor with Amazon Flex now, and I had my first day today doing packages. But let me tell you what happened. I didn't have to pick up any packages, and I still got paid $54. So anyway, this morning, I think early in the morning, it had to have been about I don't know, it had to have been about 7ish or whatever. So I decided to refresh my app, look on Amazon and see if they had any blocks available. So I hit the fresh button. Hey Cowman. Yep. So let me tell you what happened. So you know, I don't do Amazon as an employee working in the warehouse, that 1 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. shift, doing the being a sorter and picker. So I finally got the email to do Amazon Flex as an independent contractor last week. So last week I looked at my email. I said, hey, I got picked. So I said, okay, well, you know what? I'd done all the rest of them. So I filled out the background, you know, did the background check, filled out the information, looked at the videos, and I finally got my information completed yesterday, Tuesday, well no, Monday. So Monday I got welcome to Amazon Flex, and lo and behold, yesterday when I was doing Grubhub, I had got an offer, but I was already in Sandy Springs, not Sandy Springs, I was in Stone Mountain doing Grubhub. So this morning, I woke up this morning, I saw I had an offer to have a block from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. for Amazon, so I had to go to Smyrna, get packages. So I got there about 11:20, waited, and it was chaotic. They had all these trucks coming out, leaving the warehouse, because they got these big white trucks also. So so I'm waiting there in line with a whole bunch of other cars, waiting to get assigned to go into the warehouse to get the packages, where you scan them and put it in your car, and then you go about your business. So I waited, you know, along with a whole bunch of other people, and then when I got there, finally got into the warehouse, and I, you know, thanks. Hey, Mr. Safety Forever, what you been up to? So anyway, so let me tell you, and so I get there, and then you're supposed to report to the station, where they give you the instructions in terms of your packages. They said go home. They had overbooked, and then you scan that you came in, you know, and then you scan the QC code, and I got paid $54 and didn't have to do no deliveries. Cha-ching! $54, no deliveries, and they overbooked. Now, that's not normal. Believe me, that's not normal for Amazon. But if you accept an offer with Amazon, you go to the warehouse and you scanned in and checked in on time, and they don't have any more packages or whatever happened, you get to go home, and they still have to pay you. So I got paid $54 for nothing. I didn't have to pick up now. There was no packages. So I started my day with $54, and then yesterday with Grubhub, same thing. I had signed on for 8 hours total with 4 blocks with Grubhub yesterday, from lunchtime, from 11 to 1. Oh, Smyrna. let me ask you, Bolton. Where is Bolton? Because I don't know where that's at. Now, let me tell you what happened with Grubhub. Now, Grubhub, same thing. I'm waiting at the house, waiting for deliveries, nothing. So they had the $10 guarantee. So I got $20 guarantee for lunch. Then I signed up for the second block after I took my drug test for United Healthcare. Oh, they had some blocks for 11 a.m. They was calling 11 a.m. people in the warehouse, and they had boxes and stuff. People had their truck loaded up. They had 11 o'clock, and then they called out 11:30 people. But then when they got to 12 noon, they said we could go home, and they had to pay us $54. I got paid $54. Then I went back home. I'm sitting here at the Whole Foods off of Ponce, you know, because I take the back way back. I take the back way coming back from Smyrna to downtown, because you know it's not that far. And I used to do that when I was leaving Amazon that morning when I was working my regular shift. When I was working there, which was only just 2 weeks ago, so I was like, oh, familiar grounds. And so then they paid me the 50. You know, you still get paid. The girl said, oh no, you still get paid. So, and so yesterday with Grubhub, the same thing. I had one delivery. Yeah, I heard. I just found that out. I didn't know they paid the next day. That's great. I put that in my regular savings account. So I said, you know what? I'll just use that money as a savings, you know. So Grubhub, the same thing. I took my drug test because I start United Healthcare, not next week, but the week after next. So all my paperwork is done with United Healthcare, so I'll be working with them. And then next week I'm supposed to be working with Convergys, but I may work there for a week and then I have to tell them I can't do it. And besides, Convergys was only up until December 11th, so it was only for 5 weeks, but I'm gonna work at least 1 week and then let them know I can't work with them after that, because once I start United Healthcare, I'm gonna start them. So then, so let me tell you, last night with Grubhub, I had only 2 deliveries all day, and after I had went and dropped off the first delivery, I had the second delivery. Now I'm gonna make another video because let me tell you what happened. I had a second delivery, picked up from Tucker, went to Norcross, which was up the street, and person ain't put no gate code. I called them. They told me the gate code. Went to the apartment complex, and I said, well, what building number it is, because it has building 1 to 2 and all that. I'm asking what building number. It's go away to the back. First it was somebody else different who answered the gate code. Then this stupid ass girl gets on there. It's all the way in the back. Get an attitude and stuff. I'm like, I said, I just need to tell me the building number. You know, it has the building numbers and the signs. I get up there, I drive to the back. This guy comes walking out with a gun in his hip, on his hip, walking towards me with a gun. Man, I was so dang petrified and scared. He trying to go on the other side of me. No, I always get the people. He comes on the passenger side to get the food. I said, no, come on my side and I'll get the bag. He walked up there with a gun. She has, what reason do you have to have a gun to pick up food? My heart was beating 1,000 pounds, 1,000 heartbeats a minute. Because they wanted me to go in the back of some apartment complex, and then he come walking out of nowhere with a gun. I mean, walking with the... Man, I said, Lord Jesus, I said, And this was about 8 o'clock. My block was over at 8, and then it started again at 9, from 9 to 11. I went straight home, waited for 2 more hours, and I got paid $80 with Grubhub for 2 deliveries yesterday. don't know what to do with that situation with Grubhub, because first I say, you know what, should I call customer service and tell them what happened with somebody walking over with a gun on me, or should I just write them a letter? Because what reasoning do you have to walk with a gun to pick up your food, sandwiches from Firestone, Firehouse? Yes. So I'm gonna have to let them know. I'm gonna have to tell them that they, I don't know. I always do get the crazies. This was in Norcross. This was like, it wasn't even that far from Tucker. You know what, like Tucker, La Vista Road, and then you go up to Norcross. You go up to North Decatur, not North Decatur Road. You go up to Norcross, South Norcross Road or something like that. No, Norcross Tucker Road. It's that part. It wasn't that far. You know, Norcross is right next to Tucker. So that's where I was, over there, where all those Mexicans and black folks lived, over that end of Norcross. Yep, right over there. So that was my day. That was my day last night. So I made 80 bucks, easy money. Then today, $54, easy money. I'm like, dang. So right now, let me see. I'm just gonna sit here. It's 1:31. I'm sitting here at the Whole Food. I don't know why it's so crowded as hell. I don't see what's so special about it. Yep, right around the corner from Lawrenceville Highway, exactly. That's where I was. So, who else is on here? And Mr. Safety Forever, you didn't tell me your name. I don't want to keep calling you Mr. Safety Forever. I think you've been with me for a long time. I want to address you by your regular name. I know you don't want to put your name out there all up on YouTube, so. Now, Dizzy, where is Bolton, and what's the difference between Bolton and, I mean, I know the difference between Bolton and Smyrna, but I ain't never heard of Bolton. Dizzy, do you do Amazon Flex too? Or are you still here? Who's here? Who's still here? Oh yeah, you just said that you almost went today from 11 o'clock shift. Hungry. I don't know what to eat over here. It ain't like I'm that crazy about Whole Food, to be honest. I think it's too overpriced for that hot bar and that cold bar where the salads are. Too many people's hands be on there. I don't want to. Just had a Whole Food open in the area, very expensive. Really? Even after Amazon bought out Whole Food, it's still expensive like that? Mr. Safety for what state you live in again? Where you live at again? I can't remember. Oh, Louisiana. Really? They got a Whole Foods in Louisiana? It must be Baton Rouge or something, maybe. I wouldn't think they would put a Whole Foods in Louisiana, considering that they tend to be more like local, you know. I know they said that if they put a Whole Foods or any place like Whole Foods, Trader Joe, they said the property values go up to like 40%. It goes up to like 30 to 40% higher in price anytime they put a Whole Foods in the neighborhood. So anytime you see a Whole Foods put up in some area that used to be raggedy or ghetto, usually gentrification took over, and a lot of wealthy white folks moved in the neighborhood, and those prices of houses skyrocketed. What's up with these people with these hair bonnets on their head? Let me turn the camera around, see what y'all. I don't know if y'all see. Okay, I don't know if y'all seen it. It's too far. I don't know what it is with these black women. Why they want to walk out the house with a hair bonnet on their head. I mean, they make hair scarves. You know, even if you have a scarf and you tie it, you know, like tie it around your hair, you don't have to come up with the hair bonnet. Really? The hair bonnet, the one that you sleep at night, the one that can never stay on my head, because every time I had put it on, I tried to put my scarf on my head last night. That thing keep falling off my hair, but I don't be walking out the house with it. Really? Dang. It's like every day this week I've seen black women walk around with a hair bonnet, and then they just walking out like ain't nothing. At least let it be a pretty scarf or something where, you know. I see gentrification soon by Boulevard and Ponce. That been gentrified over there. Boulevard and Ponce, that been took over. Crow man, I've been seeing that. I'm trying to wait for gentrification to come over more further back into Stone Mountain. That's about to happen soon too. That's not gentrification because you see new apartments. It's when you start seeing. That's not gentrification when you see new sign for new apartments. It's when you start seeing. Oh, those are condos. Those ain't no apartments. Those are condos that look like apartments. Apartments for rent over there will be about $22,000 to $2,000 to maybe $5,000. No, not $5,000. I would say for rent anywhere from $2,000 to about $4,000 a month, maybe $5,000. But I can't see myself spending $5,000 or even $4,000 or even $3,000 for no rent. Oh yeah, you're right, but it's already been gentrified. It just got the stragglers left over because they still got they still live in some of those apartments that hasn't been bulldozed down yet. But it's soon enough, once they, I know what you're talking about. There's a whole bunch of black folks hanging around the corner. Yeah, that's condos over there you talking about. But right there, they have a whole bunch of black folks living there. The Old Fourth Ward, they still living over there, but they still live in those old apartment buildings that whoever owns them, they have not yet, they haven't yet sold it to a developer yet, but it's gonna probably be, give it a good year. No, give it a good 6 months, and then you'll see it. Yep. Yeah, give it a good 6 months. See, Pizza Hut and all those places, if they can't afford the rents, they're gonna start closing down. Yep, I know what you're talking about. What's gonna happen is that either they're not gonna afford the rent, and they're gonna shut down or close down, or they'll remodel. Either they'll remodel if they can, or they'll close them. They'll close them down first, but it'll take a minute. They'll probably remodel that Taco Bell and remodel, but they're gonna tear down those old apartment buildings and stuff. And then another place that's gonna be bulldozed down is right before you get to Church Street, where that Patel brothers. I'm surprised they still over there, because they got all those raggedy buildings that used to be over there 2 months ago, and then as a blink of my eye, they tore that whole thing down and they got something else built up over there. I mean, it was like quick. It was real quick. And I was like, I said, I wonder when they're gonna start tearing down Patel brothers. They have all those Indian people and all those Indian restaurants. I don't care what. They ain't got that much money to do anything. They're not gonna, they don't, Because they building up a Whole Food over there too. Yeah, but it's further up, right before you get to 78. Right before you turn on Church Street. And then, where they got that Sprouts and that LA Fitness. It used to be the Suburban Lounge area. All over there, right up the street. There was some old looking buildings. They tore that thing down a month ago, and they already got the land leveled to build up some new apartments and condos. And then right across the street, there's a bunch of these old looking houses, because I delivered to somebody who's old. It's not old white lady. She was a young girl. Young white girl lived in their house, and I said, what's gonna happen with you, you living here? Because she was saying she didn't know, because the landlord, whoever owned that house, they haven't either decided to sell it, or the city or somebody took it over, eminent domain or whatever, and she was still living there. And it looked like it didn't have any kind of it didn't look like it had any like electricity and stuff in the house. It looked like the house was like, ugh, it was not livable. But somehow or another, she was still living there, and she was living there month to month. So it was just a matter of time before the landlord or whomever owned that house that was renting it was going to either sell it, and most likely a lot of people will probably sell it. They're going to sell that house, because then they're not going to be able to afford the property taxes. Because see, once they built up like that, people who lived in the area, they may not be able to afford the property taxes, which in my opinion, if you paid the house off in full, then you should be able to just pay the property taxes regardless of what it is. But the drawback behind all that is that if the city of Decatur, they're going to say eminent domain, and then they're going to take it over, because they're going to need that to use for mixed development. So it's kind of like, if they want the land, they're going to take it, and they're going to give you whatever market value for it, and they're not going to give you that much for it. So some people just come in there, and they they give them something, you know, they're not gonna give them like millions of dollars for that property. They're gonna give them probably like 500,000, move on, or somebody, you know, someone in the family had the house for years, nobody don't know the records, and I mean, it's just a mess. I mean, it just disgusts me sometimes with the stuff I see going on. But, you know, it just disgusts me. And, you know, and where I live, up in Water's Edge and stuff, it's not bad, but I start seeing a lot of people, a lot of white people really moving back into those neighborhoods, because everybody who lives in all these $600,000 condos and $500,000 houses, they can't afford that. Where they get that money from? They're not making that money like that. Typically, even if you in the IT industry, or you had a very good job, if something was to happen where they lose that job, or another economic collapse happen, what you think gonna happen to all these properties that's been built up all over Atlanta like crazy? It's going to go down because they overvalued those properties. It is not valued what people think it is. And it's going to be a major economic collapse. Let me tell you, it may not happen soon. It ain't going to happen in 2-3 years, but the way this stupid Trump doing, you know, it may not even be an earth, because he may piss China off, and Korea and North Korea and the Middle East, and any threat of bombs may happen. You know, ain't no telling what's gonna happen. You know, ain't no telling. That's why they said if you don't know him, you better know him now. You know how that expression? If you don't know him, you better know him. They said Jesus. Shoot, because you don't never know. I've been watching this show called Doomsday Preppers, and they got these people all over the country and all over the world, for that matter. But they were showing a lot of them in the United States. They've got this belief about doomsday. Yep. Right over there. I live in Water's Edge, and I've seen a whole bunch of white folks walking up and down the street, driving in the car, and I've never seen, I was like, where the hell they came from? You know, I know I walk in neighborhoods and stuff, and trust me, I start seeing a whole lot of white people moving into, right off of Rockbridge Road, Redan area, and I'm not talking about just Memorial Drive at the other end of Decatur, where closest to Decatur. I'm talking about they deep in Stone Mountain, Pine Lake, Rockbridge Road. They deep. They are deep. I'm thinking black folks live over there, and it's like, They start buying up those houses because, see, they know they could buy. They could buy, and I keep telling people, stop thinking that people think I'm crazy. Girl, you crazy, and ain't nobody gonna live in no Stone Mountain. Ain't nobody will live over there. Yes, they will. They got some houses that, you know, real big homes. 100. You know, I bought my house. If y'all remember seeing the background of my house for $119, put 3.5% down. Shoot, my house is already valued at supposedly they say it's 160 or higher, but I said I don't believe it. But you know, I already made my money back, and I've only lived in my house 8 years. I bought my house during the economic downturn. When I bought that house, it was appraised at 130 at the time, and I had no work done. I didn't put no windows, nothing, until maybe later that year. But I'm doing improvements, small improvements here and there. But that house was 119, appraised at 130, which was in 2008. And the person who owned that house before, he was an executive at Kraft. He lost the house, and when I looked up the records, the house used to be 189 when it was in 1996. Well, when it was 1996. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Safety Man. Now I need to clean it. But I made, you know, I bought me some, you know, I got a brand new roof. I bought a brand new garage. I bought brand new windows. I did a lot of stuff was major outward appearance. I need to do something with that damn grass, the landscape part of it next. I'm gonna do that later. But it's kind of derailed me when I lost my job. But once I start working again, I'm gonna next year I'm gonna get the house painted, and then do some other major stuff. I don't know. I have to see. I'm not gonna do no major renovations inside yet, because I wanna because I do want to get me some brand new cabinets and brand new counters and stuff like that. So I'm gonna focus on the inside, and then the bathrooms I want to do that too. But I'm gonna take my time and do it. I'm gonna take my time and do it, because my little savings I had it kind of dwindled down when I was not working, and then so now I'm gonna build back my savings again. But yeah, I made a good investment. At first I felt that I felt I made a good investment, but for me to live in that house, it's too much. It's too much. I'm just gonna either, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm either gonna rent it or I'm going to sell it. I'm not sure yet, because I'm paid 80. Let me see. I owe about $89,000 on my house. So I've been paying my mortgage off like bi-weekly. Like I split the payment in half, and I pay bi-weekly. So that's how I've been doing it. But I'm trying to I'm not going to be in no mortgage for no 30 years with Wells Fargo. And trust me, so many people's been getting offers for their house in the area. So I've been learning a lot about real estate investing and stuff like that. So I just have a plan. But like I said, it's not just Atlanta, it's all over the country. It's like you have to really be, I'm not saying everybody should buy real estate and all that stuff, because you don't really have to buy real estate. You could invest in some REITs, which basically is trust of real estate. And what you do is, there are people who are looking for investors to invest in buying houses, and what you do is you loan your money to them, and they buy houses. And I'm gonna do that because, see, I've been talking about investing some money in some of these properties, and you get back 18% of your money. So if you loan somebody that's $500, and one company is called I want to say it's called Home Source. It's several companies out there, but they buying up the properties, and people could invest. Say you had $200, and for the accumulation of other people who invested in the property, when they finish fixing up the property, selling the property, they give you back 18% in return. Some of them is 12%, but it still beats the bank, 0.0001. So you could get anywhere from 16 to 18% of your money that I've seen. I've seen a lot of those funds, and I always said I was going to take some time to invest. And I think that's what I'm going to use with my Amazon money. When I make this little money for these little gig economy jobs, I've decided to just put that money in a savings account, and then I'm going to invest in I already set up my stash account, but I ain't put no money in it yet. So I'm going to do stash, and then I'm going to do another real estate trust fund account. And I'm just going to put, $500,000 in that account, get back 18% of my money, and that's it. And you could invest in real estate that way without having to buy houses. You don't need to buy no properties. You don't be buying no houses. Say, I'm going to fix them up, and no, you could invest in real estate without actually having to buy houses and doing it like that. So remember my tip, y'all. That's one good tip. You can invest in real estate just the same, just like anybody else, without all the hassles of being a handyman, landlord, and you know, you ain't need to do all that. You don't need to do all that. You know, sometimes people they so used to the old way of making money that they think that, oh, I gotta buy real estate and I gotta flip houses, and you know, but you know how long it takes to do that? You know, a lot of people have a lot of property and they buy a lot of houses, and then, you know, yeah, you buy a house for $50,000, $60,000, but if you don't have the cash to fix it, you know, that's where that soft money comes in. That's when you get investors. You bought the house was $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 somewhere, but then you have people invest money for you to help you fix the house up. You use other people's money, and then you pay the 18%, 16, 18, 20%, and then they finish up the project. But see, you know, when you watch those shows, HGTV and that NBC special where they have people talking about they bought houses and they ran out of money and they was like $50,000 in debt, and they, you know, they try to be real estate investors, and they don't really they mess it up. And they're not mess up, they mess up because they get the wrong kind of contractors. They hire people who don't finish the job. They do the job wrong, and then, you know, it's a mess. That's too much. I'd rather just go in with a group of people and just, you know, invest some money in you know, in a company that's just buying up these properties. But I'm gonna show y'all when I get on my laptop, so I can show y'all what company that I was talking about, because there's one company I've been looking for them for a while. It's called Home. Let me see. I know I got an email. I got an email that talks about that. It's one of the companies. There's a lot of companies out there. But let me tell you a person that's good to go to on YouTube. And I'm not talking about the credit repair stuff either. Now, you know, I don't too much care for people. They talk about, no, we could show you how to fix your credit. Nobody could not help you fix your credit but yourself in time. But this person, her name is Erica Williams, and she speaks about a lot of investing, and she provides like different resources on her blog about tax liens and things like that. She's one good person to really look at. And she Vanguard Rit, and then exactly, Mr. Safety. Vanguard Rit. You can open up an account with Vanguard Rit, and you can get return on your investments. That's an excellent point. I thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for bringing it up. That's the excellent way. But see, I've been so dang lazy lately that I haven't been opening up the accounts, you know. So that's an excellent point. You could buy Rich, and you could buy that at any brokerage bank. There's so many ways you could buy it. And a lot of people just you know, does stash offer and IRA option like they're wrong. I don't know. I haven't looked. I mean, I opened up an account. I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Unless they added it recently, but I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. I'm gonna check and see. But if they do, I don't know. You should look it up and see. I don't think so. I don't think they do. I don't remember seeing it when I had established the account. But you still get more, you don't get that much with an IRA. You can still do one, but that's, you know, that's good for people who want to catch up on retirement. You know, like the IRS allows someone to defer $10,000 to catch up. It's like catching up. So if you're a certain age and you want to catch up, they allow you to put so much. You can only put so much in an account, but it's based on your age. So they allow you to invest like $1,000 towards the IRA to catch up, or if you're 50-something years old, they allow you to put up to, you know, like $2,000 or $5,000 or something like that. But everything changes, you know, every stuff changed so much. I can't quote you exact numbers because at the end of the year, you know, ain't no telling what Trump gonna do. You know, they may say you can't do it, or, you know, you could increase the amount. It changes every year. So I don't like to quote me on it, because come December it may be something new and they may not allow people to do that anymore. But I doubt it. I don't know. You know, I'm curious to see what's going to happen. I keep telling people stop relying on that earned income credit and trying to run to get claim dependent kids and people trying to get back all this money. Those days are gone. All those people who trying to get other people dependents and claiming them, get that earned income credit and all those tax credits and stuff, refundable credits. And I'm talking about those for more poor people that gets all this money and refunds and stuff. Those things are gone. If you're not productive, and when I mean productive, I'm talking about they may allow people to deduct their mortgage because you're putting into real estate and buying a house. If you make charitable donations to a church, they may still allow that. But all that, you know what they're talking about, that premium tax credit for Obamacare, if you couldn't afford insurance and you buy insurance on your own, there was a premium that they'll help you get to get insurance. But say I purchase insurance on my own, and at the end of the year, well, not end of the year, at the next tax season, when I file my tax return, and they say, well, I got insurance, how much did I spend? Then I didn't elect to get it early in the year. If I had estimated my income, you may get $3,000, $4,000 as a tax credit, because that money would have been given to you throughout the year to help you pay for insurance. But it was based on your estimate amount of money you thought you made. So if you overestimated your money and you made less than what you said you was gonna make when you first got that Affordable Care Act, then you get that $3,000, $4,000. But if you overstated your income and you made way more money than you said, and you got that tax credit to help you get insurance, and you paying $60 a month for insurance, that's a subsidy. They subsidize your insurance for you to pay $60 a month. But if you made more money than you said you made, then you're gonna owe. So what Trump was doing was, now I do have to agree, when it came to that Affordable Care Act, I have to admit, I'm gonna make another video separately that talks specifically about that, as to why there's this big uproar about the Affordable Care Act and how people are mad about why they feel they should not have insurance. You know, it's not about they didn't want people to have insurance. See, a lot of people they get their feelings in it too much. They're not really listening to both sides. Most people are saying having insurance is a right, and it is a right. But the thing that is being opposed about having with the Obamacare has nothing to do with people shouldn't go to the doctor, and if they're sick, they shouldn't be treated. That ain't the point. The point was that why are you giving people $5,000-$6,000 of monies and they're not going to the doctor, they're not using the insurance, they don't take, they're getting all this money as subsidies, but yet nobody wants to pay for it. And that is the problem. The problem has more to do with who's going to pay for it. So one part of the problem I saw with the Obamacare was if you didn't get insurance because you couldn't afford it, they would penalize you for not having insurance. Some people said they should be a choice. If I can't afford to get it, then I shouldn't get it, and then let me take the risk if I don't choose to get insurance. But I shouldn't be penalized on my tax return of $600 or more because you didn't like to have insurance. That was a problem. Now I see that being a problem. If you don't have insurance, fine. Don't get it. This country has a health problem, not health insurance problem. They have an issue with health. A country that is healthy, like if you go to Sweden, Switzerland, and some other countries where they're healthy and they offer insurance to their citizens, it ain't costing them nothing because they're healthy. They're not going to the doctor. They're not spending money on exuberant medical necessities like prescriptions and medications for diabetes and weight loss and all these other kind of ailments. They're not spending no monies like that because number one, the pharmaceutical companies don't need to make them because they're not getting sick. It costs, they want somebody, a company's going to make money when people are sick, but when people are healthy, they're not going to make no money. Supply and demand. If you ain't sick, if a country in generally is not sick, they're not going to be no high insurance costs. They're not going to cost a whole lot of money to go to the hospital and stuff because they're healthy. Now, in Switzerland and some other countries, in Canada, they provide health care for their citizens. It's not for detrimental diseases like diabetes and weight loss reduction surgery and things of that nature. It's preventive care that they need to be worried about spending, maybe giving and providing. It doesn't cost a whole lot to go to the doctor and get your blood pressure checked. That's nothing. It doesn't cost anything for basic checkups. But the cost comes into play is when you're going to the doctor for major things. They should provide services for women are pregnant, women get pregnant, they have their prenatal care and, okay, they're having a baby, this, stuff like that. Natural things should be provided for citizens. Someone works at a job and they break their leg or something, stuff like that, but it's for productive people, not unproductive people like poor people. And I have nothing against people who are poor, because technically I'm considered poor. But to me, it's like you want to keep a healthy nation or productive, healthy people so they can be productive. That's the ones you need to protect. So on the other flip of the coin is that when you have people who are relying on the government for housing, government housing, they got food stamps, they got this, they got that, they pay $10 for rent for a month, $100 a month for rent and all that kind of. They're not productive. They're not productive people. What are they contributing to the welfare economy? You can't leash. First day on Amazon was yesterday. Okay, you need to tell me about that. So what I'm saying is that you don't want to have an unproductive groups of people or unproductive people relying on the system. Well, I know one thing. I sure managed to get some block. I got a block today. I see what you're saying. But I think you have, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But when you have unproductive people that relies on the government, they're not inputting anything to grow the economy. So when you have a bunch of people who are unproductive, they're not paying in the money in the taxes, they're not paying money into building jobs, they're not developing the economies in a way, but you have a bunch of people who are unproductive and depleting the resources, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. And please don't tell me nothing about corporations don't pay taxes and they don't pay no money and they making billions and billions of dollars and da-da-da. Companies can only make billions and billions of dollars if people are buying those products and services for those companies to make money. They're not making money. Did you put down Zifty? No, I'm still doing Ziffy. I'm doing Ziffy today, to be exact. I'm doing Ziffy today at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So I'm gonna do Ziffy later on today. I'm gonna still do Grubhub, but I only got 2 hours of Grubhub today. But I'm gonna do Ziffy today from 6 till 10, something like that. Oh no, I'm still gonna do Ziffy. But you know, but that's my thing about it. It's like I can see some things that people really don't like about it, and I didn't like about the Obamacare, and that being one of it. You know, you get penalized if you don't have insurance. You got to get insurance, and then you giving a subsidy of $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 for subsidies, and I'm like, And I think you need to grow the economy more, and then those companies that that are financially well off, you know, they could offer their workers insurance plans, you know. But we have to, but the main problem I think it is the health of this dang fly, get the hell out of here. The main problem is the health of the citizens of this country. If you focus on being healthy, if you focus on eating right, and those type of situations, the need for health care will be less. You just need preventive care. You know, preventing diabetes, preventing heart disease, preventing all these type of things that is preventable, because one is eating healthy and making food more affordable. Now, you may not make food affordable in a sense with food being transported all across the country and from other countries and being expensive, but that's what I think needs to be done. Focusing on, you know, maybe teaching people, maybe people need to learn more how to farm for themselves. You know, I lived on a farm when I was growing up in South Carolina. You know, people weren't sickly like that. They worked. People were productive. They didn't have to rely on a company job and a company 401k and all that stuff. You know, my grandfather, great-grandparents, and everybody else prior to that, they worked the land and they made their money by being self-sufficient. They didn't be self-sufficient working for somebody else. They were self-sufficient by having their own business. You know, my grandfather, you know, he raised, you know, he had grew tobacco and fruits, cucumbers and all these kind of stuff, sold it to the market, and they got paid. You know, and if he did work somewhere else, he worked at a camp, Santee Cooper, but then he also worked the farm. That was his own business. You know, people didn't rely on the government. They didn't rely on, you know, social programs and things of that nature. You know, black farmers, particularly black farmers, you know, they were told to stop growing those crops. And then the government said, oh, subsidize for the farms and subsidize for you not to grow. But then you want to get stuff from China and get stuff from other foreign countries. What happened to being productive? That's the whole problem. Once productivity stopped in this country of growing your own foods and manufacturing your own stuff. Well, the minute we started relying on, you know, I'm not a conservative, but I'm not a liberal. Half of Boulevard is owned by some investor who lives in Detroit. I don't know if they live in Detroit, because ain't nobody live in Detroit. I looked at some film about Detroit. They don't live in Detroit, they live in Australia. I heard that most of the people who invest in these poor neighborhoods, and they don't live in the United States, they live in China. Well, some live in China. Oh, and yeah, look at her channel. She's really good. I'm telling you, Mr. Safety. She's really good. I like her channel. She does live streaming a lot. She's really good. But let me tell you, most investors, they don't live in Detroit. Nobody live in Detroit. I looked at some film yesterday, all day Sunday, I'm looking at about Detroit. People who invest in Detroit, or a lot of investors, they live in Australia, I heard. They live in Europe. Some people maybe live in China, but you know, China is a different thing. A lot of people think, oh, they China, they live and they invest. No, a lot of them live in those other democratic European countries, Australia, English, people from all over the world are basically buying up the United States, Japan. They live all over the world. And some people, there are some investors, you know, they live here in the United States, smaller investors, but you never know. And like I said, you know, Warren Buffett's of the world and all these billionaires, and you know, you look at their portfolio as to what are they getting and buying. You know that what was it, Hathaway, Barclay, Hawthorne or something like that in Atlanta. You know that's Warren Buffett's company. When you look around Atlanta, you see it says Bartho or Hathaway or something. That's Warren Buffett. So all these real estate investors, all these real estate that you see in Atlanta, a large portion of that is Warren Buffett's portfolio. And then of course, like I said, there's still some small investors here and there. You know, everybody has an opportunity to make money well off. You know, not every single investor is by billionaires. You know, you still have small, you know, people still have opportunities, but you have to look at it. Those companies, just like how people do Uber, Amazon. Amazon don't own no trucks. Amazon don't own no cars. What they do, they use us to do and make the money. So when they give you a little $54, they said, you know, that ain't nothing. You know, they say, okay, here you go, here's $74, you know, whatever. That is a pennies compared to what they're making. But they're using other people to drive your car to drop off the packages. You know, Uber, same thing. Ziffy, all of them. Who they using? Independent contractors that make about $100. You know, if you can make $100, I'll crack $100 working 10 hours, 11 hours a day. You know, but yet they making millions of dollars. You know, ain't no telling what Ziffy makes. Who owns Ziffy? Even though most of the Uber Eats and all these other companies kind of took a lot of their revenue away, I assume that it did. But they ain't using nobody. Who they using? Us. Our cars, our resources, and then they giving you $10 an hour guarantee, you know, and we like, oh, I made 100 something. I'm not saying I'm not being grateful. Don't mistaken that I'm not being grateful, but I'm gonna say, okay, while I'm doing that, while I'm making millions of dollars for Ziffy and making billions of dollars for Uber, and surely I am not gonna support Instacart. They could go to fucking hell for all I care. I'm not gonna, don't send me no email Instacart about, oh, we're in Stone Mountain and you can go and pick up your groceries from Aldi's. Hell no. I'm not gonna be contributing to that. I don't give a rat but hell with I got a lot of income streams, put it that way. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm telling you, you can't stay with one company. Like I said, I'm not doing Amazon people. Hell to the no. I did Postmate for a week. Hell to the no. I did, who else I did? Let me see. What's the other one? I do Grubhub. I don't do a lot of jobs. What y'all talking about? All I do is what? Grubhub, and I signed up for Amazon Flex. Uber Eats, which I haven't done in the last couple weeks. I did it Saturday for one order for $5. That was it. And then I do Ziffy. I signed up and do Roadie, but I ain't got no orders for Roadie. I signed up to do 3 deliveries for $6 a piece to pick up some pet prescription. I ain't heard nothing back from them. They want me to pick it up, but most likely they probably cancel or choose somebody else. But I said, okay, whatever. But yeah, millionaires. See, y'all be making fun. Millionaires or people who making, you know, millions. Millionaires, they have, what they say. Millionaires are people who rotate their money and make millions. They have at least 6 sources of income. They have 6 sources or 6 different ways of making money. You can't just make money on one. You can't do one. You have to have 6 streams of income. JC, look at JC. You think JC just making money rapping on people other videos? Nope. JC got 6 streams of income at least. JC owns part of the New York Nets. JC has Rocawear clothing line. JC has what is it? The alcohol, I think he was doing. That's 3. Then you know Beyonce got her own thing. What else does JC do? He probably does, I know he does real estate of some sort, producing. Look at, I mean, just think of the typical person in regards to the money and how many incomes they got. You know, like P. Diddy. P. Diddy had his own clothing line thing one time, and then he had the restaurant, and then he had, you know, producer. That's 3. Then he does his own thing with albums and stuff when he was making songs. That was 4. And then I mean, I mean, you can't just have one stream of income. You're not gonna make any money doing one thing. Me, and I need to go to premier1.globaltravel.com. I have a travel agent business. I book trips and cruises and airlines for people with all the major vendors, with Carnival Cruise Line and all the vendors. I do that. I got that business. I relaunched that business again. I used to be a travel agent business years ago, and this was before the internet, and this was before Facebook and that. I'm doing that. You know, Grubhub, Uber Eats. I was doing a mystery shopping for TrendSource, where I'm supposed to do I-9 verifications and health services or something like that, or whatever that was. But I haven't been getting no assignments lately. No, I've been getting assignments. I haven't been accepting them. And then I'm going to be working for United Healthcare in a couple of weeks. That's a 3-month, 4-month assignment, but it could be permanent. But, you know. So look, I named 6 things that I do that I can get streams of income from. Now. Exactly. Do not put all your streams of income in one basket, because the minute you do, say Uber decides to let's go bust it. All those people who've been driving around doing Uber, talking about, ooh, Uber is the mess, Uber is the yeah, you see how quickly have people started doing Uber, started signing up for Lyft, because Uber decided to cut their rates. And then and here come Lyft. So people started doing Lyft and Uber at the same time just to make the same amount of money. When people started doing Uber, they was making $1,200 a week easily, just doing Uber alone. Not Uber Eats, not DoorDash, not Grubhub, and combining. Now, all of a sudden, the income went. Then they say, okay, I gotta find me another thing to do. Let me do Lyft, so I can make the same amount of money. Let me tell you, and multiple streams of income has to work at the same time. That's what I'm trying to master. Now, like I said, I'm gonna make that other that travel agent business. I'm gonna make that work for myself. I haven't just done my marketing with that Premier One. Premier1.globaltravel.com. And then my tax business, I forgot about that. Then I got my 1099 taxes.wordpress.com. That's my other business. And I already got people lined up to do their taxes for next year. I already got me a clientele of people waiting for tax season to come. And for $150, do your Schedule C, Schedule A, 1099. You can't beat that. And trust me, if you need phone consultation with the IRS, because I'm going to tell you, the IRS is not answering no phones from tax season. So, look me up for that too. So, you got to have multiple streams of income. You cannot sit there and do no one job, 40-hour job. I mean, go to my little 9-to-5 job, but that 9-to-5 job could come and tell you, oh, we laying off people. They'll be laying off more people with these regular traditional jobs, and everybody's gonna your job is not gonna be taken over by automation with computers. You ain't gotta worry about it going to China and India. You gotta worry about that automation, right? Being automated. Those things are gonna be taken over by jobs. Shoot, look at how Amazon, Amazon knows they could automate a lot of that processes they got, and they do. Some of their services are automated, but they could hire drivers and pay them a salary and pay them, give them a salary to do that same job. But they said, why should we do that? Let's hire independent drivers and pay them $54, $38 for 3 hours. That ain't nothing. That is nothing for them to give that. That is nothing, I'm telling y'all. They're using your own car to do drive for Amazon, who takes money and pays, and you using your vehicle. Shoot. I'm gonna start putting me a dang sign and start doing deliveries for people and bypass all these big companies. I'm gonna start going to people and say, oh, do you need some package picked up? Call me. Let them call me on my phone, and then they tell me to go to wherever and, pick up some whatever they want me to pick up. Person pays 25-35% of their money that they're making to pay into Uber. I mean, what kind of genius is that? Same thing with Amazon. Okay, you sell on our platform, but you give us 35%. And you got millions of people on the Amazon platform doing that. Man. Genius, I tell you, genius. They call that residual income. You just have more people out there doing it, and then you just keep going and making money. Automated. Alright, I've been on here for 70 minutes and I need to charge my phone. And I don't know why this stupid phone's not charging. So, let me charge it because I need to charge it because it's only 2:30. Yeah, I'm gonna do Ziffy. Turn on the app, see what kind of orders I get. And I need to eat me some lunch because I'm hungry. Alright, y'all. I'll talk to you later. Thank you, Mr. Safety. Thank you, April. Thank you, Diz. Thank you, Cowman. Thank you. Who else I'm missing? Yeah, I think, yep. Oh, talk to y'all later. I'll be back in, a couple of hours. Let me charge my phone. Let me find me something to eat, too. Alright, talk to y'all later. Oh, hey, 4 people. Y'all came back. Alright, y'all. I'll talk to you later. Bye.